Welcome to another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by DTR Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I'm Sharice, here with my amazing co-host, Jason Redman. Hello,
Hey.
Jason.
Hello, Sharice.
How are you?
I am tickled purple right now. We're about to interview one of my bestest friends. I say bestest, like we go way back to ninth grade, Troy.
Yeah, you was in the ninth, I was in the 10th.
Yeah, and I was in ninth grade. I was like, he was one of the first guys I met when we played football in high school together. One of the first guys I met, worked out in the summer. And when I say super talented, but when I have tons and tons of stories, so I'm gonna try to keep this in the interview format. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. This is gonna probably be one of the funniest interviews you ever have in your life, because everywhere this man goes, it's comedy. Like, I think he should have been a comic instead of a cyclist. Because
he misses calling.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Our first interview of the year, so I'm excited.
Happy Hanukkah. Yeah.
All that stuff, yeah.
All that. Merry Christmas, belated Christmas. Did you get everything you wanted for Christmas?
To me?
Yeah, you and Troy. Yeah.
I didn't ask for anything for Christmas, so whatever I got was more than what I asked for.
You just got to get the whole spirit out the place, too.
I didn't ask for anything. I'm along with Sharice. I didn't ask for anything either. I just it was another day, but I was happy to see it. Spend time with family. That was the most important thing. Spend time with family.
Yeah.
So did more for the kids than ourselves, because I'm always doing something.
Okay.
Yeah, about stuff. I came to North Carolina, Jason.
I was here at Christmas.
Yep. I didn't see you.
I was here at Christmas. I was here. I left to go to Houston on Thursday. But I was here.
And then so I did everything I did was for the grandkids. So
you got grandkids?
I do have grandkids.
Go on.
I do.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So they had a good Christmas.
So I'm gonna turn these wheels running. And the reason I use wheels is because when Troy and I were in high school, we would ride bikes a lot, and so we would ride 10 speeds back in the day. And I never really thought much about it. When I got my driver's license at 17, I stopped riding bikes like completely. However, Troy didn't. So yeah, man. I needed a motor at 17. I needed a motor, 4 tires, roof, the whole 9. So you kept riding bikes, man. What made you? How did you know you wanted to be a cyclist? I've always wanted that question.
Well, at first it was just a mode of transportation. Hanging out like you and I. We would go ride our friend's house. We'd ride to football practice. Yeah. During the summer, we go 2 a days. We'd ride to track practice.
But we also rode bikes because we had no money for a car. So that's
this is true. This is true. Being broke sets a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, amen.
And so we didn't need a whole lot of nothing. So then I would end up riding to work, because I used to have to come home from football practice, have to run a mile to the bus station. But if we didn't get a football play right, then coach make us stay later.
Right.
So this means I would usually miss my bus, and running 5 miles to work to get in the kitchen and cook up hamburgers and curly Q fries and corn dogs just wasn't gonna happen. Oh, wow. So I would end up being late for work. So I ended up asking for a bicycle for my birthday. And so I ride 5 miles to work, 5 miles back. And then I met this cute little lady. Sorry, honey. And so she happened to live 22 miles away. So I would ride 22 miles to see her, 22 miles back, and shower up and get on the bus and go to school. We do it about 3-4 times a week. And so I was hooked, obviously, to go do that.
I wasn't gonna bring the story up, man, but my man did ride a nice distance to see this young lady, and I was appalled. I was like, "Are you for real?" Yeah. Hey, but
I'm just thinking 22 miles in a car, and he did this on a bicycle.
On a bicycle, man, on a bicycle.
Oh yeah,
man on 10 speed, getting it.
Oh yeah. I used to do that, and then I was out riding another day, maybe about a year or two later after high school, and this dude saw me riding. He caught up with me after a long chase, and he was like, "Man, I never seen anybody ride like that. You know, to have no experience with racing." I was like, "Wait a minute, what? You can race a bicycle?"
Man.
And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "You mean people actually get together, pay money, and they compete doing this?" He was like, "Have you never heard of this?" And I was like, "No, not where I'm from. We just rode around. I mean, because you and I would go to work, we get picked up by mom, go home, get on our bikes, and ride to a party."
Fact.
You
know? And it was a live. That was a live party too. I talk about that party till this day.
And then we'd ride back home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was just mode of transportation. So, from that guy introducing me to racing, it was on from there. And I'm still doing it.
So you're not just a cyclist. Because when I think of cyclists, I just think of the people in the little biker short, like the biker shorts and the little too tight shirt and the curved handles, and they're all bent over and they're just like in a group cycling. But you race, you also raced and
yes. I still do. I actually race. So you have to pull a license, pay X amount, get a license to race. You don't have to have a license to race. Anyone can join into a race, but they will put you into a particular category if you're new to the sport, which is a category 5. They'll put you in there. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to make it up to a higher level of racing because I've been doing it for like 24 years, of racing. So I actually get out and actually compete, and it's not necessarily for the money. I'm not, that type of I guess you say endeavor to make money as a living cycling has been gone a long time ago, but I still have a passion for it, so I train a lot. I ride/train race about 7,000 to 8,000 miles a year. As well as run and own and a roofing business, so I'm not just racing.
I'm glad you said that. I wanted you to give a plug to your racing crew. But again, you said you brought it up. You have a business that you run.
Yes.
So when I graduated high school, back in the day, you graduated before me. I can remember you working at a tire shop.
Yep, Discount Tires.
Yeah, I wasn't giving no plugs. They don't sponsor.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right, no problem.
You can edit that out. Sorry.
No problem. But like you went from the tire shop to roofing. Not like the next job, but how did you make that transition to get into a roof? And give a plug out to your racing crew too, man. I don't want you to.
Okay, I'll get to that part. So I was living here in Houston, and I ended up going from the tire place, and I ended up getting a job at a warehouse. So I became an overhead crane operator. So by then I was 2 years into racing, and I became really, really, really good. I moved up the ladders pretty good. So by my second year, I was an amateur pro. So I moved up that many levels. And what drove me to that is that when that guy introduced me to racing, he turned me on to the Tour de France. So I would watch videotapes of the Tour de France. And I was like, man, there are no, I don't know, how do you say it? Black people, colored.
I was going to ask you that. What does the demographics look like?
It is very, very low on the scale of even Americans being in there, but none, no, I guess you would say, I don't know, African Americans or blacks as we experience here in the U.S. No U.S. Blacks. There are some now others, Britain and stuff like that, South Africans. But that's what drove me. I wanted to be the first Black dude to ever make it to the Tour de France. So that ended up moving me over to Colorado. So once I moved to Colorado, I needed to have a job. So I met this dude, and he was like, I have a roofing company. You want to, maybe give roofing a shot? And I was like, absolutely. So I ended up working for that company. And within 2 years, they signed me up for my own roofing business. So now I'm, on my own roofing business, Reynolds Roofing. And so I ended up parlaying that over, to having a racing team, Reynolds Racing. So I have a Reynolds Roofing racing team in Colorado, and just started one in Houston.
Man, that's big right there. And you've been doing roofing for how long,
Oh, since 1994. So
wow.
I don't know, 30, almost 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing it for as we would say, a minute.
Minute.
That's probably a minute and a half, though. I would say a minute.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes, the 20, 25 minutes, quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about the bike, so I rode bikes like for fun, like when I was younger or whatever.
Not true.
Clearly. So what speed of a bike? So I didn't realize that bikes came in a whole bunch of different speeds. I thought you just get on and you pedal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right. So is the 10-speed bike the one that has like little things, right? Like with the numbers on it?
Oh, yeah. Well, the speed goes with the cassette on the back. So if you have a 10-speed, you usually have two different gearing options on the front where the pedals are. And on the back, you'd have 5 in the back. So then they end up going up to another set, which makes it now 12-speed. So now they go from 5 to 6, and now they just go on that number itself. Like a 10-speed means you have 10 gears on the back.
Okay.
They don't do the math. They don't call it 20 now, and then or you could have a 11-speed, or 11 on the back, which is what I have. Now they have 12s. So that actually gives you more of a gear ratio. So, you go big, smaller, smaller, smaller. It kind of dents down like think of a pear. It's like a pear. Mm-hmm. And so it gears down. So the smaller it is on the back and you put on the big one on the front, the faster you can go if you're strong enough to do it. So speed, it depends on how strong the athlete is. So you have to do certain intervals, trainings, to be able to go a certain, speed. You have to have a good foundation to do a certain distance to be able to get certain training in. So it can become as complicated as you want it to, but you want to start out, obviously, you want to ride. You have to at least ride. But you have to, set little minimum goals for yourself. And I base mine on time. So you stay on the bike for an hour. So you go ride for an hour, no matter how far you go with that hour. Because that's what it started for me. It was 5 miles to get to work, but I would clock myself. How fast can I cover that 5 miles? So then that became into racing. So how fast can I do a certain distance? Mm-hmm. So that's how I began to train.
How fast can you ride?
How fast can I ride?
Yeah.
Well, how fast can you go? I ride a lot faster in a race because I'm being pulled along with the race itself. Mm-hmm. So we'll be in the 30s, easily in the 30 miles per hour range in bike racing. The fastest I've ever gone is 57 miles an hour, and that was down a mountain in Colorado. Now, I tell you what, 57 miles per hour, to give you an idea.
Down a mountain?
Down a mountain on the pavement, sitting upright. Even at 55 to 57 miles per hour, my hair blows in the wind. I mean, it is fast, and it's very, it's very scary because anything can happen. You hit a rock, tire. So you have to be in a different headspace. Usually crazy spelled with a K.
Yeah. Insane, maybe.
Oh, yes.
So I'm glad you asked me that. So going downhill, take me through a downhill on a mountain. So I know when I'm driving, I like to be in the inside lane, close to the guardrail. If it's a 2-lane highway. So when you guys are riding, I know there's no traffic coming. So are y'all are closer to the mountain? No. Going down, you would be closer in, and then when you're going. So when I say down, okay, down, the turn is going to the left. Are you closer to the wall? And then when you're going to the right, are you closer to the edge? How does that work? How does that work?
Well, that comes in the essence of cornering. So you want to enter a corner from the outside in. So if you're going to the left, you want to be far right. And then you want to come in all the way to the left and then exit going out to the right. So that way you can carry your speed. If you're going really fast, it could be too fast for you to hold and hug that inside turn. Mm-hmm. It'd be very difficult for you to do it. And you'd have to brake because going 30-something miles an hour through a turn depends on the degree of the turn. If it's an arc or like a C shape, or is it a U shape? So you'd have to identify the turn. The safest way to do that also is to stay in the tracks where tires are, where cars would drive. Right. So you don't want to get too close to the edge because some rocks that may have fallen off the mountain, or the road could be a little sketchy on the inside, could be gravel. So it would be best to go out and check the course, be able to, descend the mountain, get a feel for the mountain. But most of the races I do, they don't have, mountains in them because I don't climb that well, and I know a lot of people that could fly up a mountain, but they say, man, you don't climb that well. You're from Colorado. I say, you ever seen a black mountain goat? And you still haven't, because I am not yet.
Not gonna do it, huh?
No.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah. So that's go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So when me coming up, my strength was sprints. Like I could, like you ran track, you were a sprinter, right? The 200 was your thing, the 100. You can hold it down in a quarter mile, that kind of stuff.
Thank you for validating my athletic ability.
Oh man, you had it going. See, you ran track.
Thank you.
I was supposed to run track, but I ended up viewing it.
So, I'm not gonna let my man discredit his track experience. So my man ran a 2 mile. So don't let him don't let him fool you. He wasn't bad. He was a better football player than he was a track athlete.
Yes. Yeah, running 8 times around a track is pretty boring. So go ahead and get it over with. You know. But I did get 2 third-place medals.
But you finished every race too. FYI.
I did. Oh man. And that's how I brought that over to racing, my bicycle and riding and training. Man, I finish it. You gotta finish.
Mm-hmm. You gotta finish. Yeah.
So for me, sprinting on the bike was my forte. So I could sprint up to 42 miles an hour when I was young. If you had me at a dead stop and you gave me 30 seconds to hit top speed, I would give you 40. I would give you 40 to 42 miles an hour, no problem.
Wow.
Hey, what do you think about now?
I haven't tried it because I don't want to blow a hip. I'm 51. So or blow something. Actually, I'm not blowing it. But I don't know what would happen to me. I don't know. The ashtray may fly open. Something bad, unexpected would happen. So probably maybe in the mid 30s. So I'm more of a turbo diesel kind of person. You
got to work up to it.
Oh yeah, and I mean I'm more apt to lead out a real fast person, or chase someone down, chase a group down, to get my teammate in position, or if I can catch up with a group of 4 or 5 people, I'm okay with finishing. Not okay, but I want to decrease my odds of not getting 5th tremendously by being that 5th guy. So I can make it happen though.
So my grandmother, when she was alive, had to get a roof put on her house and on her garage, and so we just got a roof put on, and we got cheated. And I found out Troy did roofs, so I was like, man, we got to put a roof on this garage, man. I'll fly you to Nashville, come out, we'll take care of you. You can stay at the house, blah blah blah. He said, hey man, that's fine. The only thing I ask is you got to take a cycling class with me. I was like, whatever, who cares? Sure, whatever. Now, I hadn't ridden a bike since I got my driver's license. I want to go ahead and put it out there. And I was at 17. And we out there putting the roof on. Hey man, if anybody needs a roof put on, that is the best airline ticket you're gonna ever spend. I'm telling you, he gonna go to Lowe's. He gonna talk to you about shingles. He gonna talk to you about the nails. He gonna talk to you about what's the insulation called you put down first?
That black paper.
Oh, that you call it? Yep. Yeah, the underlayment. Underlayment. Oh, you mean felt paper?
Yes. So hey, look. Yep. So we're putting the roof on. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm not big on heights. Anybody knows I don't like heights. So we out there. He's walking around the roof like it ain't no big deal. He said, "Oh man, these boards. Some of these boards are bad." I'm like, "Hey man, I'm up here. I don't need any more distractions because I'm gonna get down." He got me taking the boards out. Like it was an old roof. It was a tongue and groove. It was a tongue and groove roof, man. He's laying the boards down. And so we got everything done. And we would have finished this roof in a day. He said, man, that ridge vent, it's just not right, Jay. I just can't leave it like that. I was like, what's the ridge vent? He said, man, top of the roof. I'm like, man, can't nobody see that? He said, no. My name's on this. I have it right. I gotta have it right. I was like, hey man, whatever. All right, man. We ended up stopping the next morning and finished the ridge vent. When I say perfection, that man knew roofs. So I looked at now when I look at the roof, I mean, like, hey, they didn't take the shingles off. They just laid shingles on top. They look at the ridge vent ain't right. I mean, no.
You know what you're talking about a little bit, huh?
Hey, man, I got a crash course in roofing from Troy Reynolds. I'm telling you, boy, hey.
But we're not going to bypass the cycling class. Did you go to cycling class?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then.
So then we go to the cycling class. Let me tell you something. I'm in the class. The first class was, we took the cycle class, and I'm in there. We ride the cycling. So I'm in there at first. When the instructor gets up and rides, I'm looking around. I'm a competitor. I'm going to compete a little bit. Man, like, it was a 30-minute class. I was in there dead tired. He's like, hey, man, we can take another class. You want? I mean, whatever, man. I don't care. The second class come up. Hey, man. I'm in that mud. I'm just telling you. She's like, you got to keep up. I'm like, man, fuck this class. Fuck it, Pete. I'm last. I'll be last. I don't care. It was all over me. I was done with cycling at that point.
Stationary bike riding is hard.
Oh my God. Groin was hurt.
Yeah, I'm just saying, butt hurts. Like, you got to have on certain pad and pants and stuff. And everything.
Man.
Yeah, it's best to have some padded shorts because that's the key. If you don't have padded shorts on, then that's going to be a miserable experience, for you. And it because you have to callus that area. You have to get that area used to it. You got to have proper saddle height. If you know all those things, it'll make it a much more pleasant, painful experience. I had a great time.
He had a great time.
You sound like it.
Look,
I had a plan.
This is over 10 years ago. I'm still about that.
Man, that's been a long time.
Yeah, and I still talk about that class to this day.
I remember one time I went to a spin class here in Houston, and as soon as I got on it, my seat broke off. So the lady was like, well, I'm sorry, but we don't have any extra bikes. I said, no, I'll ride on this one. I'll just stand the whole time. She said, you gonna do what? I said, I'll just stand. She said, sir, this class is for an hour. And I said, if it was for 2, I would do the same.
She didn't know who she was dealing with.
So she said, well, okay. And my mom was right next to me. She was like, he's serious. He'll be fine. Man, I rode standing the whole time. People were like, they were marveling at it. And I wasn't doing it for, a show thing. It was more of just a challenge. I love challenges. It was more of a challenge, so I did it. And I did it because the first time I ever did something like that, I actually rode 13 miles standing the whole time. And that's when I was first learning to ride bicycles.
That 22 miles.
I mean, race bicycles. Sorry.
Yeah, that 22 miles is amazing to me. But
I'm gonna say that prepared you for life.
Oh, it did. It did in more ways than several. And I remember because what we used to do in the summertime, so we get up in the morning, and then we would go to football practice 2 days. So between football practice, hey, go have lunch, do whatever. You got maybe 3 hours or whatever. Then I would ride 22 miles to go see, at that time, girlfriend. And then I would ride back and then go to football practice for the second football practice. And then I would go home and then ride to work. So that was kind of like a schedule, type of thing. So 44 miles and then football practice twice. I was standing up in a spin class for an hour. Man, please. Yeah. That wasn't nothing. Now, one day, I couldn't make it back. Nor can I miss football practice. So I called one of our buddies to come in, to come scoop me up. And he was like, man, I told you shouldn't have been doing that. And he drove his car to pick me up so I wouldn't be late, So I check, I test my limits, I push it. But then, yeah, like you say, set me up for life,
Yeah, definitely.
So, not to cut you off, Sharice. So, you're starting a racing group. It's a group club.
Race team.
Okay.
Yep.
You're starting a racing team in Houston. And
no,
you're bringing
Colorado.
No, but
just now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the one here, the one in Texas.
Yeah.
They started a racing group in Texas.
Yes.
So Sharice, over some deliberations, I've finally etched the deal that we're going to be one of the sponsors for Reynolds Racing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. I saw the confetti flying.
Yeah, that's
And
Yeah.
and like to add to that, I just recruited 2 more guys today and one on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I was trying to
so now
do
there's
the,
15.
I was trying to do the interview in Houston, but so tell them what you had to do in Houston on was it Saturday? No. Yes,
Yeah, it
Saturday.
was Saturday. It was Saturday.
Saturday morning.
So Saturday morning, got up really early, hooked up with some teammates, and brought my wife with me, and so she was going to do a shorter version of what the rest of us were going to do. There were 8 of us, and 7 of us were going to do the 100-mile ride. So the goal was to do 100 miles, and then average 18 miles per hour the whole time.
100
So
miles in a week.
no, that day on Saturday.
That's what I wanted to say. 100 miles
Yeah,
in a
so
week.
on that day. So we left at 7:35. It was really, really foggy. So we ended up doing that, and we finished in 5 hours and 34 minutes. Something
100
like
miles.
that. And we weren't even riding hard.
so. Is this a course or like you just going 100 miles north and then now you got to get back 100 miles south? Are you doing 50 and 50?
Oh no, we have a friend of ours because now with all this technology, like we're right now talking through technology, you know.
Mhm.
So you can actually create a map like on your laptop or even on your phone in some cases. I don't know how to do it, but I have a teammate that can. I have a lot of friends that can. I'm just not that technically savvy, and nor have I attempted to do so. And so you create it, and then you can upload it to your computer and just have it on your bicycle, and it's like your little GPS in your car. And so you can have all your numbers, your miles per hour, your everything, the time, and then right as you get to a turn, it flips over to that screen. It turns to that screen, changes, and then you know to make a left. And so he mapped it all out, and then that's what we ended up doing. That's how we did the whole course. So this was like just some kind of big puzzle.
Oh wow.
Wow. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm fast on that.
It would have been nice to
You know,
have
so-
an interview with Jason's looking forward to an in-person interview with somebody. So I know he had been talking about this interview and he was like, it doesn't like we're gonna be able to do it while I'm in
No.
Houston.
When he said he's going 100 miles, I was like, yeah.
I catch you later.
Yeah.
Well, because after that we had to go to my wife's aunt's house for a birthday party. So how do you say it? So her grandmother passed a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago. So her birthday was the 31st of December. So a lot of the family members were getting together over there at the house that she was staying at, and so we needed to be there. So one of our guys broke his seat post broke. So we had a little mechanical mishap. So Andrea came with the truck and came and picked him up, and then we proceeded to ride, which put us at the celebration like an hour and a half later. Man, I was so hungry.
I bet.
I
100
can only
miles.
imagine.
I walked in there and they had a minister, just kind of, giving encouragement to the family, and it was. I'm gonna guess it was really nice because I don't speak Spanish, but he was. So I was just sitting there, and I'm like thinking to myself, when is he gonna wrap it up? How do I say it? Can you wrap it up in Espanol? Because I'm extremely hungry.
Hey, just up this. Hey, hurry up, buddy. Come on.
Man,
Hey, let's go.
I was so rapido. I was sitting there. I was like,
You was not.
just
Oh my God. You was not.
He finally finished. Man, he finally finished. I ate like a hostage. I was so hungry.
So when you're riding, do you ride with? So I know, like in races, they have stations set up where you can like get a drink it, throw the cup down. But when you're riding in, like this situation, do you have the water bottle on your bike? Do you like carry a backpack with another source of, liquid water, Gatorade, something?
No, we have because the temperatures are where they are now. Well, I'm gonna start over. You must know your limits and what you need as a calorie intake. Not necessarily by the number, but you should know how much food you need. How many gels you need. As energy. It comes in the form of now it's a warm gel, so it's a glucose. It's a lot of sugar in it, and you have your sports drink in your bottle. for my team, we're sponsored by Flow Formulas. So we have that mixed into our bottles, the powder form, and you can bring it in like a little Ziploc bag, some extras. So when we stop at gas stations, we get the water. Now you have your own powder mix, and then you just continue to replenish your water bottles accordingly, as you need it. So I know I need every, X amount of hours. I need to drink this many water bottles. I need to eat this much food. And based on how fast we're going, now I know what my calorie, expenditures are based on per hour. So then I know what I need to eat, accordingly. Oh, she's so sweet. Look at my baby.
Oh.
Oh.
I tell you, they're gonna make this love thing disgusting.
We can't do this one. It's not our sponsor. And so here are water bottles. we put this in our water bottles, and so that's how you end up doing it. We don't usually have people on the side thinking that we don't have people. They call it a feed zone is what they call it. So we don't have any of that. You just have to do what you do, and you bring money. Everybody has their taste buds, their thing. And when it comes to a race, that's a whole different animal there. You need to have somebody in the feed zone based on your distance. And you can carry, there's 3 pockets to a jersey, so you can carry all your food that you need. You're not doing groceries. I mean,
right.
So
graham crackers and bananas and stuff out the jersey.
Making sandwiches and stuff. Like, hold this for me, hold this. You're not headlocking a mayonnaise jar. So you have to bring your own food. You know what you need, and they'll have it for you. In the rest stop. Now there was a particular race.
All right.
All right. Brief intermission.
Had to go with the palate.
Yeah.
Oh, what you got there?
They don't sponsor us.
Like that tire spot.
Yeah, they're not getting no advertising from me.
I don't blame you.
I've been coughing. I don't have COVID. I've been coughing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kill this cough.
I can dig it. You know what's wild? So Sharice, so check this.
Yes.
So my wife and I are high school sweethearts.
Yes.
So we didn't see each other. We had an absence of seeing each other for 33 years. So once I graduated, 1 year older, sooner than she did. But there's a story behind that too. We didn't see each other for 33 years. So we ended up seeing each other again, and we were going through pictures. She was showing me all kind of pictures.
Oh, wow.
It just so happened Jason and her were in the 5th grade class at the same time.
Yep.
Oh, what a small world.
So my high school sweetheart, now wife, was classmates with my best of friends.
So it's so funny we always talk to Jason about like his bag of guests that he has gotten for us. And so you're the first person I think that goes back the furthest, because most of Jason's guests came from Knoxville College. Yeah. So this is neat to find somebody or interview someone who knew Jason pre-Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody we talked to knows college Jason.
Yeah. I mean, Jason been there for me more than he would know. I lived with Jason for almost 2 years.
Yep.
With him and his family. So mom was going, well, we were in high school. So it was right before I started working. We were of age, so to speak, to work. And so mom had talked to his mom about, maybe I could stay there with them, and she would, give his mom money to help, take care of me. So, man, it would be his brother and I, we stayed in their bedroom. They had a bunk bed and a couch. So his brother loved the couch. I had a bunk bed. So we did all kinds of things together. And that meant a lot to me. And that solidified a relationship, for Jason and I. Be able to do. And we go to parties together. I'd watch out for him. He had my back. He saw me naked in the tub once because I threw up on myself because I got drunk. So he had.
So happy you finished what was behind that comma.
Yeah, probably much better. Okay. All right.
But other than being baptized, well, I don't know if that's the same thing. But he may have been the only brother to bathe me.
Hey man, we can stop the story.
No,
It's
Jason,
not
it
going to
just
stop.
shows. I mean, of course, the stories are
Yeah.
funny, but no, it just shows the type of person you are. Because I've always said it about you, like from the moment I met you, like you are like when Jason calls you friend, like that's special. So because he's such a good guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So funny story. So when Troy and I were hanging out, so Troy was a senior and I was a junior. So Troy and I was hanging out. My mom never gave me a curfew, but as soon as Troy graduated and he was gone, my mom like, yo, you gotta be in the house by a certain time. I was like, what? What? So that my senior year was tumultuous. That's my big word for the day too.
I like that.
Yeah, it was tumultuous, man. Like it was all I would get off punishment. Next week I'm on punishment. So like if the 1st of September I'm not on punishment, then the second week of September I'm on punishment. And it was like that the whole senior year until my birthday. Then my mom came in my room one day and she was like, hey, you're obviously not gonna listen to me. You think you know everything. So
no, that's you.
I know, right? I know. I can't believe it. He was like, I don't give a fuck what you do, just bring my car back home. And I was like, what kind of conversation is this from mother to her son? But I understand now why she said it. I get it now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, he was there when my car got shot.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh man. And I ain't even do nothing. I was in the back of the party eating buffalo wings.
Yep.
Because I was hungry.
I was in the back room. Yeah. That's a whole other story.
You said let it go? Let it go?
Yeah, let that whole story go. Yeah. It was a bad night. It was a bad night.
It was. It was. So like
it was a learning experience though.
Oh, it was. So I'll quicken that story. A fight broke out. And I'm in the back of the spot and I'm like, I ain't running, all my boys are gone. I mean, y'all were really fast. See, when I say that Jason was fast, not only was I at the back of the party, even if I wasn't, I still would have been last. Now I can run. I mean, I make myself sound like I'm slew-footed, but I can pick him up and put him down, but that's a whole different level. Man, we got outside and they were gone. All I saw was tumbleweeds rolling in a certain direction. So I just went that way. So all the other dudes from a different school were looking for them because one of the other guys hit one of their people. And so we all come together in the middle of the parking lot, and they were all lined up. As soon as we got together, I stepped on the side with my boys. All of a sudden, shooting. They just bullets started flying. I took it to the front of the cars and they were all parked up against a fence. And I am jumping hoods. I am sliding across. I'm squeaking, because I got on shorts. And I'm just, I am picking them up. I'm picking them up, putting them down. I got all the way to the end of the parking lot where I was parked, but I was parked in front of a dumpster that was surrounded by a fence. And I got to the side of the fence. I was like, oh, Sharon. I left my girlfriend.
Oh man, I forgot Sharon was there.
Sharon! And she was like, I'm over here. I looked around the corner. She was already at the car, but I had the keys.
Hey man, when I say
she knew where to meet you.
Yeah, so I run by her. I'm thinking I'm the one that's not so good, but yeah, so we've been through some things. But then I now started riding. Cycling ended up changing my life. That's why I moved to Colorado because I wanted to go pro. Did a whole Tour de France thing, and so I got out there, and it was a different world indeed. A lot harder.
Over your career, how many races have you participated in?
Woo, I would have to guesstimate probably around 800.
Oh wow!
About 800. Oh yeah. Wow. I'm very like usually I would average about 35 to 40 a year, and the most I've ever done was 50 in 1 year. So oh yeah,
it's like a race a week.
That's what it comes because what I would do is I would race on Saturday and Sundays, and sometimes I would double up on races. I'll race twice a day or 3 times a day because it's all based on category. So right now I'm a Cat 2 racer. So as a Cat 2, I can race with the Pro 1-2s if I so dare. Oh no, I leave them youngsters alone for the most part nowadays. Or I could do 50 plus, which is 50, age 50 plus whatever category, or it would be a 50 plus 1, 2, 3 category. So then I could have an opportunity to race 3 times. It depends on what they offer. So if my fitness is there, or if I have a fitness goal set down the road, then I need to, do these particular races. I feel it's going to benefit me in the long run. So I'll do them. It's very exhausting and very expensive.
Bro, but you go race on a Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday you'll be on the roof.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I've actually,
he said, no problem. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I've actually gotten off work on a Friday, drove to Dallas, and got there enough time to sleep in my truck for maybe an hour, and then hop out and race, and then finish the race, and then drive to Houston to come see my mom.
Man, that's just wow.
Oh yeah, I've many a hotel night in my vehicle.
Hey man, that car,
that's dedication.
Car is a good sleep.
Oh yeah. Well, you're so tired. Well, for me, I'm so tired it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. And most of it, I'm focused on the race, and I'm more about the race than more about the journey, including the race. Then, well, man, I want to sleep in my own bed and this and that. Well, if you want to limit yourself, then that's fine, as long as you're cool with it, but don't complain about it. And so to this day, I travel everywhere. My wife and I travel. I race in different cities.
Where's
states.
the prettiest place you've been?
Ooh, the prettiest? Looking at myself in the mirror.
Oh my God.
So the second place. So prettiest. Colorado.
Yeah. Hey man,
Period.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Period.
Denver, Colorado. Hands down, I'm not a mountain guy, but beautiful,
like scenery and everything.
Yes. So we went there. We went to Troy's wedding in September, and it's a whole story behind that too. But we went to the wedding, and I'm looking out the window, man. You see the mountains off in the distance, like you see the city, it's flat. The city's flat, but then off in the distance you see the mountains. Oh man, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. And yeah, Colorado is absolutely the most beautiful place I've ever ridden. And we'll continue to live there. We live in Colorado and also in Houston, Missouri City. So we do a little bit of both, transitionally. And then I do a lot of benefit rides. I enjoy doing those. My wife, I've been training her for the last 2.5, almost 3 years, 2 3/4 years. And so she does benefit rides, and I'll do them with her if I'm not doing a race. And it's kind of doing my own little leisure pace and, hang out, help out, do whatever. But most important, I love meeting people.
Yeah. See, I was gonna mention that Andrew was she started doing right. She started riding when she met you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. So whole lifestyle change. They got bikes in the living room.
Oh yeah.
They post videos of them riding bikes in the evening. I'm like, this is so disgusting. This is so disgusting. Right,
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there's fitness benefits. There's appreciation for outdoors. I meet people that I never would ever otherwise meet. I mean, I meet doctors and not in need of one. I meet attorneys and not in need of one. A rocket scientist, I don't know why I would need one. You
met a head football coach.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. And matter of fact, his dad's company, the company he owns, that's what we drove to New Orleans today to go measure that roof.
Yeah.
The wild things that we do to do what we love and the passion is unbelievable. All the 98% of people, no, maybe 95% of people that was at our wedding are people I met through cycling.
Yeah. Hey.
And you were there.
I was there. You didn't meet me through cycling, but I was there.
Nope. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when I say everybody that was at that wedding, either they loved Troy. You couldn't find 2 people in that room that could talk bad about it. I mean, nothing negative, but it was And they wouldn't say anything. They might joke, but they would nice say like the tributes, the toasts. And there was some tearjerkers.
Oh yeah.
The people that came to that man wedding, they loved Andrew and Troy, and they were so happy that they got together. I was like, oh, and this is how funny it was. So we sat at a table with a lady that was their server at a
Oh,
restaurant. I'm not gonna say the name of the restaurant because they don't sponsor us. But the restaurant, the server came to the wedding. I'm like, who has a server come to their wedding? Like, but she knew him, she remembered him. Every time they went to the restaurant, they would go sit in her section. She came to the
yep.
wedding. Yeah, and she wasn't the only one like that. It was another server that came because
Uh-huh.
of, yeah. I was like, he made that much of an impression on you at a restaurant? She's like, yeah. Like, wow. And she didn't speak good English. It wasn't like she could understand him. She didn't speak great English, but
Yeah.
they were just so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of my sponsors, Avenue Visions, so they're an eyeglass optometry company, and they sponsor my team. They do, Oakley glasses and Nike glasses, put your prescriptions in there, and so they take care of our vision work, also for our families.
Mhm.
So I was putting the roof on their building they just bought. They were moving from down the street to this other building. I was putting the roof on. So right next door, I would go have lunch there, where my wife would come and meet me for lunch, and we would go there and have lunch. That's how we met her.
So
And
I'm
so and so every time we would go in, then after the job, every now and then we would go in that area and we stop in and just see her. And we just end up talking to her, like that. So that's how we met her. Then we went to the other restaurant and our server, the guy that was at the wedding,
Mhm.
he ends up being our server. So we ended up talking to him, bonded with him, and he had never been to a wedding.
Get out
And
of here.
I was like, what? How you 21 years old and never been to a wedding? You know, I said, well, you're going to come to one. And he comes, hung out with my kids, bonded with my kids because they all, he's still in the video games big time, you know. And so it was groups of people just like that, that we meet. And so when we travel, people, we just end up meeting, we stay in contact.
When I say meets no strangers, meets no strangers. Like, and it's
Oh,
been like this forever. Like, we go back to like ninth, 10th grade. Like, meets no strangers.
oh,
None.
yeah.
No.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And that, that
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this story, but I shared the story in Colorado when I first moved there, maybe 2 years afterwards. And I'm at a table full of, I think it was three generations that were there. And it must have been like 15 of us there. And it's a long table. I got all teary eyed, a little choked up. And they was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm good. And they were like, well, I said, you mind if I say something, if I express to you why? I'm getting tearful here. And I say, it is definitely tears of joy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Here it is. I am here. I am 25 years old from Houston, Texas, and I've never sat at a table with a white family and dined.
Damn, for real?
I was
What?
in Colorado. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. You know what? Uh, hey man, that's deep. I don't think I have either.
See?
Wow, that's big. That's dope.
And there I was. I mean, and just stories like that, just things. I am not doing anything that I had, that I had planned on doing as a kid. None of what
Mhm.
I do now about that I write down. None of that I do that I envision.
So what did
But
you envision as a child?
football player.
Okay,
I want to be a professional football player. And
gotcha.
then, I played those years and I got a chance to, I'm a very focused person. I watch. I kind of, I talk a lot, but then I'm paying attention.
Mhm.
I know people a lot because I talk to people a lot, and I listen to their answers, on different things. And so I begin to realize that these coaches are calling out colleges to watch certain people,
Mhm.
and they have private sessions. So they don't get a chance to see you do anything. Now, when you get out there on the field, they get a chance to see you,
Mhm.
play. But by no means was I the best football player. I was pretty good. I could hold my own. I could do my thing. I was always on the field, playing involved, but I wasn't that other special. There's just
Mhm.
no way. And I had no desire at all to go go to college,
Mhm.
So at that particular time, and my mom had talked to me about, you should try, you should go at least take one of your basic classes. So I went to college for day and maybe a total of 4 hours. And I quit. You know,
It just 4 hours.
It just wasn't for me. So I didn't do it. So then there went football totally, because it was a community college. So it wasn't, it was a community college, just a little basic class during the summer to see what I was going to try to sign up for, doing a full year at a college that wasn't a community. And I knew that wasn't it. When I met that guy and I wanted to race professionally, bicycles. So I moved to Colorado to race because I wanted to be the first Black dude to Tour de France. It took me one race to realize I better find something else to do, because there was no way I was going to Tour de France.
Oh, wow. Wow.
They beat me. I did a race up a mountain, Mount Evans. It's a 28-mile climb, and you reach to 14,000 feet. Trees don't grow at 14,000 feet. And I got to see the guy that won beat me by an hour and 45 minutes.
Damn.
No one's going to pay you to finish that far behind anything. And so I was just honest with myself. I said, well, maybe I'll just race a lot and we'll see what happens. And I actually got an opportunity to race professionally in 2000. So I got a chance to race for a year. So I raced the U.S. Road Race Championships in Philadelphia and Antioch. I also raced the Criterium Championships in 2000. I did a lot of top-end races, but we only had a one-year run with the company. So that was understood. But I really enjoyed that opportunity, to be able to see a bunch of people I read about in magazines, and I got a chance to see on videos. And them cyclists, those little climbers, they're so small and teeny.
So for a year, you got to be a professional athlete.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing.
So you got to compete at the highest level, not in football, but in cycling.
Right.
Yep. So you got to live the dream.
Oh man. Oh, absolutely. No complaints at all. I would do it again knowing how it turned out, which wasn't bad at all. There was a lot of butt kicking going on. It was mine getting kicked along with a lot of other people.
That's fine. But you got to compete at the professional level at the highest in that sport, which was cycling. Now it wasn't football, it was cycling.
Oh yeah. Having professional photographers, get all around you, taking pictures and stuff, and going up there as a team and on the stage and signing in before every stage, and people, clapping and cheering for you, screaming your name, people wanting your autographs, kids wanting water bottles, and, how do you not enjoy that or miss that, that moment of pure elation just because you had to sleep on the floor in a hotel room because you didn't have no money?
Hey man, you got to be a professional athlete for a year. You got to be at the highest level in the sport. You didn't go to the Tour de France, but you got to compete.
Yeah.
Now you have racing teams.
But I'm all about the mission too. I like to say being very focused, and I appreciate the journey and I love those journeys. So I set them up as such. So I didn't make it as a racer to Tour de France, but in 2012, I got a chance to go watch the Tour de France for 10 days.
Hey, man.
Oh man, it was absolutely amazing. I want to go back. I like to go back this year or next.
Okay.
It was breathtaking.
So are you going to go back and try to get on a bike, or are you just going to go back and watch?
No, we rode. We were part. It was a group of us, like 12 of us.
I'm not going.
It was like 12 of us.
I was going to go with you, but you talking about riding. Nah,
Well, we got on with this touring company. So they would do these little maps, these routes, and we get a chance to watch the race.
Yeah.
And then we would cut the race off someplace else and see them again. We were doing shorter distances. And so what you could do, you could ride in the vans because they have support vans.
I can do that. I got that all day. I'm in the support van.
Like,
Oh yeah. So we got a chance to ride 7 of those days. They would take our luggage to the next hotel. They planned all of our, where we're going to dine at experiences. They did all the translating for me. The guy wanted to hire me, to be one of his, guides. But I needed to learn one more language other than English. He was like, if you can learn French, Italian, you can do Spanish. I'll hire you and you can come back every year and be one of my tour guides. Because I was strong enough to lead some of the faster riders.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
And so that didn't happen, but oh man, it was amazing. It was amazing.
So two things. One, not usually, when we wrap the segment up, we always ask our guests to leave us with a word of inspiration. Before I let you do that, I was privy to some information prior to us interviewing you that coming up soon, there's going to be a Reynolds Racing podcast. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Oh man, talk about it. Talk about it real quick. Give the
honey.
plug.
She's out of earshot now. Yes, I would like to do that. I would like to start a podcast and teach people, no matter where you're at, whoever you are, actually about cycling from where you're at right now. Because you can get on the bike, you know, and put all these things into practice. But if you don't know what you're practicing, then eventually, you know, you don't have a reason to do it.
I got you. Man, look, go ahead.
I like it.
Yes, I just want to know when you get it set up, like we don't have no fancy microphones, we don't have no fancy lighting. It's, you know, we're very basic. I mean, this is it. Like this is a podcast. This is just to me. Then you get your little backdrop, and you know.
I like that.
I appreciate it, man. I
appreciate it.
Dude, I appreciate both of you, and I appreciate you sponsoring the team. You know, being on the kit.
That's awesome.
Man, look, when you told me that you was gonna you look for sponsors, so I was like, I'm ready. Let's go. I ain't made the money, but I was like, man, I'm on it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing it now. We're doing it together. You know.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's beautiful, dog. I'm really proud of you. But again, like when you graduated before I did, we kind of lost contact for some years. But when I finally found you, I was like, man, I got to catch up with my man Troy Reynolds, see what he's up to. And if I'm not mistaken, so I'm gonna say it right. I'm not gonna get the names right. You have two lovely boys.
Yes, David and Zach. David and Zach. Yep.
David's the oldest, Zach's the youngest.
True. Yeah.
Right.
17 and 15.
Oh man. Do they ride too?
Zach, when he was I don't know, like 6, he raced 5 races. And David raced 1. And he was done.
I like David already.
So no, they do not race. They never will again, I don't think. But
I ain't mad at them.
Who knows? You know.
Driver's license, get that motor, get them 4 seats. The roof. Oh, love it. So look,
make it happen.
Word of inspiration, man. You got to give the viewers something to hang their hat on, man. That they can carry them through this first week back at work for New Year. What you got for us?
Be one of opportunities, for opportunities are aplenty.
Say that again. God, that was good.
Be one of opportunities, for opportunities are aplenty.
Man, I like that.
I like that.
I like that. Golly, that's good.
Man. That's why I end up wherever I'm at.
Hey man, look, I'm ultra proud of you, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Who would have thought 2 poor black boys from Houston, Texas, would have ever gotten to the point where they are today? And I'm in awe when I watch you guys do the things that you guys do. So my hat's off to you. I ain't got no hat on today, but I tip my hat to you.
Well, I so appreciate. Whenever you put one on, give a brother a tip.
I got you, brother. I got you. And it ain't gonna be. And it's not gonna be don't walk backwards in the rain with no umbrella.
Or don't pee into the wind. Actually, we should do this again because, well, you know me, I got a whole lot of stories.
Yeah.
Because I also learned the art of peeing off the bike while riding.
So I was gonna ask you, what do y'all do?
Jason, no.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. Jason, just leave it alone.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna call you tomorrow and ask you about that one. I mean to ask you how to go to the bathroom.
How about we start with that? How about we start with that our next time?
It works for me.
I got you. All
Let me know when you want me on. Let me know.
Okay.
I got you. Go take us out of here, Sharice.
If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and continue following us on this journey because we have a lot more amazing episodes ahead. We are DTR Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared towards uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I would like to thank my amazing co-host, Jason Redmond.
Hey, I appreciate the love.
I appreciate you
for coming.
And the hilarious Troy Reynolds.
Sorry for being so serious.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Remember,
our goal is not to be better than anybody, but together we can achieve better for everybody. Thank you and have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right.